Since the beginning of recorded history, the human race has been at war. First with members of their own family, then their fellow countrymen, and finally nations at large. What may come to be the greatest government conspiracy of all time. A funny thing happened.
We must assure our preeminence in the peaceful exploration of outer space, focusing on an expedition to the moon in this decade.
By faking being halfway to the moon, it becomes apparent that they did so because they could not even go halfway. It thus confirms that the stumbling block to their success was the lethal radiation of the Van Allen radiation belts. The radiation belts surrounding Earth may be more dangerous for spacewalking astronauts than previously believed. Scientists say the phenomena known as the Van Allen belts can spawn killer electrons when the Earth's magnetic field changes. Whatever pictures and sound were distributed to the public were strictly controlled and previewed by the federal government. It is clear that these scenes were lit with artificial light, which are cast at different angles, are evidence that a second light source is being used. The lunar module was simply placed there, not even one speck of moon dust on the landing pod. Here, a crosshair, which was burned directly into the image from the film plate, and thus should always appear on top of the objects in the photograph, appears behind the object in this scene. To demonstrate 1/6 gravity, a bouncy, floaty feel to the astronauts' moons would be similarly achieved with relative simplicity. Slow motion. And what about stars? On the moon, with no atmosphere, they must have been quite a sight to behold. Yet there is seldom any mention of them, if ever, by any of the astronauts on any of the missions.
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars in the solar corona in spite of the glare?
I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
We now realize that perhaps the reason Neil Armstrong has never given an on-camera interview is because he doesn't want to lie.
Today we have with us a group of students among America's best. To you we say, we have only completed a beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
Whoever believes the citizens to be too immature for the truth are too immature for power. The truth